So for one, we have family projects, and at the end of this video I also have a bit of information about a giveaway, so maybe you want to stick around and find out about it. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nathalie, I'm a musician, and yes, I grew up in a musical family, and I thought it would be fun to share a bit of my experience around that, because what seemed really normal to me was not necessarily normal for other kids, and I found that out pretty quickly. So that just sounded like a fun idea to me. And also, if you've been around here for a little bit, you know that we have a big event coming up on April 19th. We are doing a live streamed event with all music by my dad. The whole family will be on stage and behind the scenes, and we invited lots of our friends to join us. So if you want to know more about that event and know more about the giveaway that is related to it, then please stick around till the end of the video. And in the meantime, you can take a trip down memory lane with me and figure out what it's like to grow up in a musical family. So let's dive in. So growing up in a musical family really has a number of cool perks. One being that you often get free tickets to a concert whenever your parent or your sister is playing. And especially as a kid, you know, going backstage and getting to know all the little hallways and the artist rooms behind the stage, that's just really cool. And not only, you know, before the concert, but oftentimes, because my dad's a pianist, he needs someone to turn his pages, because we already use our our two hands at the same time, and then sometimes scores are just really unfriendly with their page turns, so you would need an extra person to come do that for you, and oftentimes he would ask me or my sisters to do that. And just being able to be on stage in the middle of where the music is happening in real time, while not having to play yourself, that was always one of the things that I loved most about going along with my parents to a concert. So if I was asked to turn pages, I was always really excited. And, you know, often, because you're a kid and you're adorable, the organization would ask if you would be willing to bring the flowers to the soloists in the end. And that always stressed me out more, because it's not always clear when you have to go on stage. Like, is it the second that people start applauding, or do the musicians first get behind the scenes and then on stage again? That was always a bit messy, but you know, you're small, you're a little girl, and everyone's like, oh. And so it would always turn out just fine. And then, you know, you see those artists in like a heartbeat, because you're bringing them flowers, and then you go backstage and you see them talking with your parents, and you kind of get more formally introduced. And of course you're a kid, so you don't know half the time what everyone is talking about, but just being exposed to all those artistic brains and just the people behind the artists, that was something that I loved. And it was the most normal thing for us, because, you know, our parents would play gigs pretty often, and we didn't ever second guess it until, you know, you become more aware and you kind of notice, like, oh, my friend doesn't really have a piano in her house, huh? And, you know, all these little things, you realize that it's not for everyone the same. And so you learn to appreciate them even more. Another thing that I really adored in our house is, you know, so my dad's a pianist, my mom's a violinist, my sister is a jazz singer but also used to play the violin, my other sister used to play the flute, and I played the piano. So there was always someone practicing, or at least there was always music. And I loved coming home to a house that was filled with life, you know. Right now, I have to say that I also really enjoy silence. I don't necessarily need music in the morning or music over breakfast or dinner, but that was something that we always had as kids, and that was so fun. And also just the whole community vibe kind of thing within our family around practice, that was also really cool. We were never forced to do music as kids. I think because my parents just knew how much discipline it asks, and like you really have to want to do it to be able to succeed. But if we then expressed like, hey, I want to learn this instrument, then our parents were like, okay, cool. We're gonna make this happen, and you're gonna practice from then to then each day. And so we were taught the value of discipline, and also just seeing how spending a little bit of time each day to something, how that really helps you, and you just learn so much. And you know, if you come home after school, it was the most normal thing for us to just eat something and then practice our instrument and then do homework. And I remember as a kid, sometimes friends or kids from my classroom that I didn't know that well, but were having a birthday party or something, they would invite me, and I'd be like, oh, but I first have to go home and play. And as a kid, I didn't realize that for them, that sounded like I didn't want to play with them. But in my mind, it was so clear that I wanted to go home, practice my instrument, play my instrument. And for them, it just seemed like I was a very asocial person. It took me a little while to figure that out, but in the end, I did. And I was totally fine on social skills and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoyed not being the only one practicing, and seeing, also hearing my sisters like evolve. And I mean, my parents were always good musicians in my ear, so I didn't really hear them evolve all that much because it already sounded good. But you know, then again, we were mostly in school when they were practicing, so who knows. But all those things are such fun memories to look back to, and as a kid you don't realize that that is not a given to everyone. And so the older you become, the more you appreciate being exposed to that as a kid, especially being able to get to know all these artists. That was so fun. And I hope I can do that for, you know, my own family later too. That would be really great. Partying in a musical family, that's really cool. Even if like the main part of your family is trained classically and only your dad and your sister are like full-on jazz musicians, still, you know, just being able to have live music at basically every party is just so much fun. And you know, my grandparents on my mom's side, they were also classical musicians, professionals, and basically 90% of my mom's family, they were all musicians. And so whenever we would come together, especially around Christmas, because part of our family lives outside of Belgium, so we wouldn't see each other all that much. But around Christmas, we would all gather at my grandparents' house and then play for one another. And that was so fun. So cool to hear each other and like play with one another, and it strengthened the bond in a totally different level than just, you know, being family. And as a kid, I always loved those things. Growing a bit older, I probably, you know, there was just a little bit more reluctance around it, because I think I just became way more aware of like the level of my family members, and I was like, oof, I need to step up my game. But I mean, it was totally fine. This was not a competition or anything. It was just enjoying music and playing for one another. And that always, you know, that was always the case. And we could do that with our grandparents because they had a little concert hall on their first floor, like with a little stage and a grand piano and lots of, you know, chairs that you could unfold and fold up again. And they organized so many house concerts with family members, but also just with friends or students that wanted to rehearse their program and stuff. And you know, me and my sisters and all the other grandkids were often asked to go around with the trays of food afterwards and stuff. And oh, it's just, those are such good memories, you know. I mean, life was also really uncomplicated and just fun because you're a kid, but still, just seeing people lighten up because they are attending a live concert, oh, it's just great. And I think the biggest party that we had was 5 years ago for my dad's 60th. You know, it's a milestone, so we thought, okay, we should organize a really, really big party and invite all our friends, musicians, non-musicians, and just celebrate with music and with lots of booze and lots of food. And so during that evening, we had 3 little stages of music. And it was often our family playing, but also often members of our family playing with friends, or just even my dad's friends, just having little surprises for them. And one of those was Dirk Cossé, who had actually written a composition for my dad, because they go back such a long time. And I think that's the time when the idea for the live stream that we're about to do kind of started. Because we noticed how happy everybody, I mean, obviously it was just a wonderful day. It was super sunny, like kind of a summery vibe, even if it was just spring still. And in Belgium, we don't really have a lot of sunny days. So it was a great day, and there was such a great ambience, you know. And I think that's when Dirk kind of had this idea, like, oh, maybe we should do a program around Mark's music. And then, you know, since he's turning 65 now, my dad, I mean, Dirk was like, why don't we just do it on the live stream? And here we are. So I promise I'm getting close to the giveaway stuff. Just hang out for one more bit, and we'll take it from there. So thirdly, we have our family projects, and I mean, if you're on my YouTube channel for a little bit, you will notice a lot of collaborations with my dad. Those are definitely that type of projects. But also, you know, we did a big family project, kind of similar to the one we're doing now for April 19th, but back in 2005, and that was like a Christmas CD, DVD project. All with jazzy arrangements that my dad made on Christmas songs, and we also invited like a big portion of our family and friends to join in on that. And you know, I was only 10 or 11 years old, and I could sing a couple of songs, and I was really excited about it. And then, you know, they sold the DVD to a broadcasting company, and then they would broadcast that DVD for so many years on TV. And I remember the first year that I was in college, I was like 17, 18, and my new professor came to me after winter break, and he was like, I saw you on TV. And I was like, that's great, but also feeling a little bit embarrassed because, you know, I was 10, 11 years old. Oh man. Yeah, that's just a great embarrassing anecdote for me. But apart from embarrassing anecdotes, we really enjoy working together, and it's not only with the whole family involved. Sometimes, I mean, I also did a project with my aunt when I wanted to do the Prokofiev flute sonata, and she's an incredible flutist and a really busy woman, but she agreed to play with me, and that was just amazing. Also really kind of nostalgic, because I remember there are times when we were playing for Christmas in my grandparents' house, and now we were doing it, you know, for real on stage for an audience. It's just, what are the odds that we can keep doing that? It's great. And so now we are finally getting to the, you know, the big thing of this vlog, which is the giveaway. And so for April 19th on our big live stream event, it's, you know, partially also for my dad's 65th birthday, and because we want to just keep bringing joy and great music from our family and friends to yours, we thought it would be great to throw in an extra autographed CD for the first 50, so 50 people who are purchasing a standard ticket at 15 euros for the live stream. And this CD is the Symphonic Jazz CD by Marc Matthijs. It is the 8th volume of the In Flanders Fields section of the record label, Fevre. And this CD features 3 of the big orchestral pieces that my dad wrote for symphony orchestra and jazz band. And extra fun fact, the jazz trio, so the drummer Tony Heeslink, the bassist Bart den Hof, and obviously my dad on keys, who are playing on this CD, are playing on April 19th. So it's a full circle. And we just thought it would be great to, throw this one in as an extra bit. You heard me say buy the standard ticket. So that implies that there are 2 tickets, and it is actually true. We made sure that this event is accessible to all of you because we really think it's important that you can, enjoy great music and just fun in your house on your own terms. And so we have the standard ticket. If you're among the first 50, you will receive this autographed in your mail. But we also have a pay what you want ticket. So you can just fill in any number and you can secure your spot for April 19th. If you can't make it on that day, don't worry. We make sure that you can access it up until 2 weeks after, so until May 3rd. And with that said, I hope to see you then on April 19th, and hopefully also in between every Friday here on the channel. Next week there will most likely be a music video, but maybe also an announcement. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what comes up. And in the meantime, I wish you a great weekend. Enjoy the sun if it's out there, because here it's definitely like a nice summery vibe right now. And we should enjoy it, because apparently next week it's gonna snow. What? So yeah, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you again next week, and hopefully also on April 19th, and who knows, maybe you will get the CD in your mail. See you then, and take care. Bye bye.